hack away at it, cutting off everything that looks like I can use it otherwise, which the tree now becomes vegetation.
Oh, yeah.
So you can either have a short tree, or if you continue, you can have a dead tree, depending upon how much vegetation.
Looks like
you
it's
want.
wires wound together.
Wow. That's it.
A dead tree. So
Yeah.
you have vegetation when you're done.
Very good.
So we're going to use this over there. Now, I can buy these things for $4.50 a piece. Okay? And it will produce an awful lot of vegetation.
Yeah, it sure would.
So we're going to use some over here.
Yeah.
Dirt, not just solid dirt, which I've worked with before with your partner here.
With
So
Rob.
it requires
Hi, I got a phone call too.
a little mixing. I need some water, half a cup will do. And this is called burnt umber, to which we painted that raw umber. The difference is slight. However, adding a little burnt umber to the white, requiring some mixing. I apologize for my missing teeth. However, it won't affect my work. So what we end up with is kind of a reddish brown. And what we're going to do with this, come over here, color on here. Bit of color and your brush is a little dry, you come back and stipple. And the reason being is we're going to come back with a dark color to cover up any mistakes that we make here.
So how do you know you've made a mistake? I mean, what? Because you put too much on, or?
Because my wife usually shows up and tells me I made a mistake. However, in this
Humor.
case,
Well, I don't know if I'd ever say, Marcus, you made a mistake.
well, the good news is about this, you can cover up your mistakes rather quickly if you know what you're doing.
Cambridge or Faith Fair.
Kind of like Biden falling off. Okay.
It's cool when you look at the layout from different angles. You know, it just gives it a total different look.
Okay, so that's a light color to start with. Now we're going to add a little more burnt umber to our paint, which will darken it up a little bit. Light-colored.
So what does that? Does it make it darker? Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See, we've got the darker.
Okay.
I come back. See, we're adding another color to it. And I usually tell myself we want 3 colors on everything I do, at least 3.
Is the base one of them, or
Yeah,
3
no.
on top of that?
No, 3 on top of the base.
Okay.
As you notice with automobiles, the old ones had lots of color on them. The new ones are bland.
Just because it's got one color.
Yes. and they all kind of look alike. You have to give thought to the fact we're going to add vegetation to this, so that monotony that we look at here is going to go away. So our third color is straight burnt umber. And you come back here, you see how we're giving definition to certain areas?
Yeah, it's popping. Yeah. What did you call this last week? You said that this is what this puts on the finer details, or the
Final touch.
final touches.
Yeah.
It does.
And actually there is no final. You can keep on working forever. But like every artist, you have to know when to quit.
Yes.
That's kind of a key. Unlike baking a pie, you know when it's done. Usually my work, I never know if it's done because there's always something else I can do. However, the financial end of it adds to, you say to yourself, this is it. We're not doing any more. Okay, so now we blow on it to dry,
Marcus.
or use the fan. So, we're done with the paint. And our next step is that vegetation. So we're going to plug in our glue gun.
Okay.
And all that vegetation that we cut from a tree is now going to be applied to our, and in HO scale, this is a pretty big piece of vegetation. And what I normally do, but I can't do here because of the time element, I put a little Elmer's glue, which, good old Elmer. I wonder if the guy really was called Elmer. Elmer's glue. And I touch up a little glue on here and put some grass. So that there's a grassy area along with the vegetation. However, because of the time element, we're going to add the vegetation in a reverse, and next week we'll come back in and add a little grass.
Okay.
2-3 step process. So while our glue gun is heating up, I kind of try to form the vegetation. And these trees, the Chinese, when they make these, lump them all together, so you have to pull them apart as I'm doing here, so they don't look like a big glob. You start with that and you end up with this. I usually have my grandchildren do this part of it. However, I didn't bring them along with me. See how that works? And if they really get excited, you can pull them apart like that. So, because that's kind of wet, I take my pencil. I got a pencil here someplace. I thought I did. It's a pen. Do you have a pencil? Get at least one thing all the time. So, these come with a little wire base to them. Can you see the little wire base? So where I want to put it, I'm going to stick a hole in the styrofoam. And then we're going to put it in place.
Very nice. Yeah.
So I kind of start in one area and kind of work along. Because it's a little dark in here and my eyes are bad, putting in the pencil in there helps me find the place. Get in there. Now, these trees come in about 3 different colors, to which I only brought one color. So next week I'll bring another shade and we'll kind of add, make it a multicolored. And then I have these little things that are actually twice as long, and I trim them for HO size. I'm an O gauge fellow myself. However, I have to make adjustments. So the trees will go such. So once again, I take my pencil, stick a hole in there. Get the idea?
Very good. Yep.
So the question is, how much vegetation do we want to put along the entire thing? And I usually say to myself, we start with minimum and go towards more as we get higher.
Okay.
Kind of like a mountain. The lower part has a more lower vegetation. You get up on top and the trees get bigger and more dense.
So you're kind of training your eyes to kind of visualize that as even in a small scale like this.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Now, knowing that I'm going to come back next week with different colors, we're going to be a little sparse here.
By the way, that's a teaser to help you watch next week, right?
If I'm still alive.
Oh, that was humor, by the way.
No, it wasn't. I'm predicting the end times. I'm presently reading the book on how the world is going to end. And in this book, there's absolutely no humor whatsoever. So the author of the book obviously was not working on a train layout, or he'd look forward to the next 2 years working on his train layout.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Yeah. See how this, my coloring here kind of blends in with the trees, so it doesn't look too stark or too blah. Now keep in mind, we started out with this, and we're ending up with this.
Excellent.
Okay?
Very effective.
So, I should have enough our dead tree somewhere along the line.
That's right.
That way you get your money's worth,
You can use every piece.
every piece. Being lower middle class means I've got to do the best I can with what I have. Okay,
Looks good.
where would you like another tree?
Wherever you put it.
Wherever I put it?
Yep. Not that way.
Not that one.
I have to turn
That
upside
way.
down. Yeah.
Okay. I'll follow your directions.
All right.
Now, if you put a tree on the side of a mountain, This thing out here has to be trimmed.
This is interesting.
I trim it so that the part that fits against the mountain is flat.
Very good.
And then the trimming part, once again, I end up with a usable product.
Yep.
A little plant.
Yep.
And push comes to shove, I use some Lego flowers, add a little color to them.
So it simulates wildflowers.
Yeah. Where did I put my hole? I lost it. Oh yeah, right there. Okay.
Where does the Elmer's glue come in? Was that for the grass?
Yes,
Okay, so that's for next week.
yes.
Do you have to Elmer's glue these, or that's steady enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in fact is, we've already painted this green. So if you get some of your grass, we can do some of that.
Okay, let's do that.
I brought my small brush.
Okay.
Here's Mr. Elmer. How much glue you put down probably doesn't matter. Did
So-
you glue the roadbed down?
Yes. So this is the edge of the roadbed that
Okay.
you're putting in now.
Right. And if we wish, we can use a little extra glue and put a little grass over the roadbed.
So it simulates like weeds.
Yes. Notice everything we've done here is not rocket science. Rocket science is it sent these astronauts up to the what's it called, the space station up there.
Mm-hmm.
They were supposed to be there for 6 months.
Yeah.
Now they're looking at 2 years. If I was then, I'd never want to go back out there again.
I know. It's almost like a bait and switch. Hey, want to go up for 6
gee.
months? No, 2 years.
That's what technology does for you. Oh, that's terrible. We don't want to use that. No. Well, that's plan 2. Under your light, that looked more green. It's more brown. So we're going to go for this.
Blended
That number
turd.
here indicates that you want to order it.
All right, green blend.
Green blend. Similar grass, and if you look here, the color is very similar.
Yeah.
So we're going to use yours
Okay.
and conserve mine.
Yeah.
And this is the easy part. I tell people to spread it a little liberally, even though this grass is expensive. I think a bottle like this is $12. So once you got your grass down, it's imperative to take this finger, not the other one, this one, and you pad down, if you're certain it sticks. And then you wait about 24 hours between you turn on the fan or sneeze. And take a vacuum cleaner or a brush and take it off. Now, because this paint is still wet, we can't do any of that while that paint is wet. That's why we're going to do this again next week.
Okay.
So I add a little grass to the side of it.
All right. Until next week.
Till next week.
Over and out. Peace out.